Hello and welcome. We're at San Diego Comic-Con with Screen Rant and the lovely ladies of DC Superhero Girls. When I last spoke to you guys, we hadn't yet started the show, or it had just started. And now you've got a season with Cartoon Network under your belt. There's a website, there's shorts, everything. What have you guys learned in this couple of months?
What have we learned?
I just learned how to use Instagram.
I know. That's true.
On the bus ride over.
That is true.
On the bus ride over?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You did very well.
She really did. She did her first story. We were really proud. We danced to Hora. It was nice.
I think we've learned that helping friends out to learn how to use Instagram is
Just like
important.
the superhero girl.
It works, exactly.
Me too.
Yeah. I feel like we're living it.
The great thing about Superhero Girls is that obviously it's aimed at children, but there is lessons that are valuable for adults too. You know, it's like, what has been your favorite like arc or mini episode so far for your character? All of you.
Good question.
Well, I can answer that one. I really like that Zatanna is flawed. Like we're not perfect, and I think Lauren brings up this awesome point that the characters, they're not just the perfect girls that always do the right thing all the time. So I like the fact that Zatanna learns from her mistakes, and that her friends support her and call her out when she needs it.
I've had a lot of non-positive influences in my life that my friends have tried to say, great, maybe you shouldn't. I'd be like, but they're so great. You just have to, like, they're tired, you know.
They're tired.
You haven't. And Wonder Woman gets this pet. Are we allowed? Has that aired already yet?
That's actually way down the line.
I love that now we know there is something way down the line.
right now.
We
just sent it to edit.
The fact that her friends don't think
recorded
this is such a great idea.
Just recorded it. That was Gray's last episode of the Superhero Girl.
Warner Brothers is firing me.
We said goodbye to Gray.
I just learned when I got
transformation.
replaced on this show, and that's what I've learned.
As friends, we do her voice for her.
So I'll take a stab at Wonder Woman.
So would anyone like to save her, help a friend out?
No.
She made that bed.
We're actually pretty early in terms of how many episodes have aired. There's 26 half hours in season 1, and most of those are 11-minute episodes. So like we're talking like 40-ish stories. So we're really early on in the season. So we're only kind of just establishing our characters' arcs right now in these early episodes. So the way our characters are going to grow is yet to be seen, I think.
Well, speaking of the arcs, I think the one that was most firmly established for me was Bumblebee's and her, growth and confidence, learning to speak up for herself, stand up to bullies. So what else would you like to see her tackle? Not necessarily that you're going to tackle, but what would you like to tackle?
Yes, I know nothing.
I know, I'll tell you.
Yeah, let Gray explain it. I think she's a techie too. We were talking about that earlier, and some of her things have gone really well, and some of them haven't. So I think her building her confidence in not just her size, but also with her tech abilities, I think is going to be another cool thing that hopefully that happens along the way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, Batgirl has kind of like a bit to prove, I think, just because she's a bit of the leader, but at the same time, she doesn't have her own superpowers. So she has, so what do you think is her?
I love that about her, that she doesn't have any superpowers. She has to rely on her brains and think things through and logic and the support of her friends. And this show is so great about teaching kids inclusivity and supporting each other and being there for each other. And Babs really gets to explore that. And I think with her kicking butt, one of the things I love about this iteration of the DC Superhero Girls is that you get to see these girls kicking some booty. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not just like they're doing each other's hair in high school. Like, oh my God, that was really violent. And they're not afraid to be some kick-ass chicks, which is so much fun to watch and to really go deep into who these girls may have been before they became superheroes, sort of this high school origin story for all of these characters and how they came to be and who they were before they were jaded by experiences in life.
Oh my God, that was so deep.
I know. Wow.
But she's not the only one with something to prove, because also Supergirl Maybe is a little bit in the shadow of her cousin. We've seen her deal with that a little bit. So what do you think is her like asset that helps her distinguish herself best from Clark?
I think that what she hopefully learns is that she is different and she is perfectly wonderful on her own. And sort of the chip on her shoulder is sort of like what a lot of us carry, is sort of a mix of self-pity and, I'm not appreciated enough, people aren't seeing what I have to offer, never mind, I'm not going to even bother, that sort of rut we can get into. And her working herself out of that rut is something that's important, like any girl. Like you go, you know what, it doesn't matter that maybe X, Y, and Z aren't appreciating it. I've got this to offer the world, and I'm going to do it. And she works on that, and she gets out there and she does some serious damage.
Yes, that is very, very true. Wonder Woman, what I love about her is just how much she is, like, her anti-bullying stance is so strong. She gives, like, the best speeches of peace, love, and friendship. So what are some ways that you could see her helping bring more love to the world?
Well, she'd be probably at a lot of protests right now. She invested in some sign-making stocks and some poster board, and now she's a billionaire. No, that's actually coming in the next season. No,
Everything she says is true. Everything she says is true.
Yeah, no, she'd definitely be standing up for people who have no voice right now. I can see that.
A behind-the-scenes question, since I don't believe that we have our Green Lantern. She has been in a couple of hate triangles, thanks to Carol. So, couldn't she find some love, maybe?
Well, yeah. Well. You know what? We do have a couple of storylines involving love in the works. Carol comes back a lot, although I don't know how much of that is really love. It is love. Honestly, in that particular hate triangle, Jess wants nothing to do with it, and that's going to be a continual problem for her.
She always
Keep
gets
me out of it.
dragged into just the mix.
Yeah.
With Hal.
Whether she likes it or not.
Yes.
And she doesn't.
How do you decide which ones are going to be like full 11-minute episodes, and then just what ideas are going to just be quick shorts?
Well, when we're in the story room together, breaking the stories that we want to make, it's usually about the content and the arc that we want to follow. And there's just once in a while, there's one that it's just like we need 22 full minutes to tell this
the
one.
The story needs more time for it to really just have the justice it needs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and to breathe and to let the audience feel what we want them to feel with the characters. Those ones are turning out to be pretty special. We're actually finishing up 2 of them right now. They've got a little bit more weight to them. I actually think they're more fun.
Yeah, and it's nice because it's like, the opportunities to introduce new characters, like the boys, you need more time for those episodes. So.
Yeah, we're working on an episode right now with 12 characters.
Yes.
And it's like, you just can't do that in 11 minutes.
It's too much.
1 minute each. Now, and for the stellar cast, like, do you know what episode you're recording when you record it? Like, this is a part of an arc. This is going to just come out in a couple minutes.
I mean, I'm lost most of the time. Yeah.
I don't know anything.
But when you get to work, you get your scripts beforehand, a couple days beforehand, and you get to work, and then Lauren will fill you in on all the good stuff. You're like, all right, seriously, what? Wait, what happens? And of course, I'm not a comic book person, so I'm like, she'll give you the whole backstory. She knows all the information.
Horrible nerd.
She's got it all.
It's amazing.
Horrible nerd,
Amazing
beautiful.
nerd.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. No, and after the initial records, we'll go in and do ADR for stuff that's already been recorded if there's little fixes or tweaks or something needs to be louder. And it's always so exciting for us to see ourselves animated as these characters and to see how beautiful. I mean, the show itself looks beautiful, so to see it coming to life and, that's how that fits in. Because sometimes when you're recording it, even though there's stage directions, even though you read the script or like Ray, you don't, you get to you get to like it was a little dig that you didn't get to read the script. You kind of conceptualize.
You're so pretty, Gray.
You conceptualize how it's going to look, but you don't really get it until you see it.
Right.
And it's really so interesting and rewarding. That's how that's going to play out, and then you can feed it even more internalized action and play into what's going on.
It always looks so much better than I can
Yeah.
envision it too.
Well, speaking of envisioning it, what is the process for coming up with the character designs for every new character? Because it's so unique, even
You're
from
so
its
good at
predecessor.
that. I know. She started off as a
She
storyboard
draws
artist.
things
That's
so
why.
good.
Well, I have an excellent crew of artists on my team that I work with on the character designs. But for me, my character design philosophy has always been like, I want somebody to be able to look at the drawing of the character and take a pretty good guess about who they are, what their personality is, and what makes them different from the other characters. So it's not just about making a pretty drawing, it's actually about like expressing personality through that drawing, and that's a big part of my approach.
Oh, wonderful. Now, speaking of character designs, I have a character to pitch to you that I pitch to you every single time I see you, and I will never stop. Iris West, journalism team up. Okay. Vicky Vale.
Yes, no, I remember. Yes. Maybe Lois needs a rival.
Maybe she does. A rival or a bestie. I don't know. It can be anything.
Or both.
Yes. But
Fighting over a boy. Oh wait, no, that was.
No.
I'm sorry. No,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm so conditioned.
is there any characters that you ladies would like to see yourselves interact with?
You mean currently in the show, or
Currently in the-
or new characters? That
Oh, they can be someone that you haven't interacted with yet, or someone that hasn't even been introduced. Yeah, just go wild.
Gray, tell us about who hasn't been introduced.
Who do you want to fight with?
Is that 26 half hours? We've already got they're all written now, so we've got a bazillion characters that they have already.
All right, well,
We've met a lot. We've met a lot of interesting folk.
I really love creatively when the good girls interact with the bad girls.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And when you first released the art on the internet of the baddies coming together, that poster was so hot. I'm like, that's so fun, like just stylistically. So when we get to interact and we don't necessarily know that our good friends are really the bad guys, that dichotomy is really fun to watch.
Yeah, we have a couple relationships like that. It's like girls who are friends as girls have no idea they're beating each other up at night.
It's really cool.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I've loved the show so
Thank
far.
you.
I cannot wait for the rest of it, or more of it, to go on forever.
Yes.